I'm delighted to welcome you to the 12th Annual General Meeting of Stanbic IBTC Holding PLC. 2023 was another remarkable year in Nigeria's history as it marked the successful transition from one democratically elected government to another. We continue to wish the new administration led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFRO, success as it continues the task of nation building. On our part, we reiterate our commitment towards the country's development, leveraging on our expertise and footprints across Africa and beyond. Distinguished shareholders, despite the enormous challenges of the macroeconomic and operating environment, I'm happy to announce to you that your management team ensured that the organization remained resilient, delivering the best financial performance of the organization since its inception. Let's give them a hand. Led by Dr. Demola Shogunle, your management team continued the diligent implementation of its strategy anchored on ethical business conduct with renewed focus on customer centricity, continued investment in people and technology are strong pillars of this stellar performance. We can all be proud of management's achievement, knowing that it continues to do business in the right way. It is against this background of putting the customer at the center of everything we do that the SME and retail banking business retained its first position in the 2023 KPMG Nigeria Banking Industry Customer Experience Survey. Our corporate banking business also was ranked third in this category. Your board will continue to support management in navigating the challenges of the operating environment, mindful of our service promise to customers and the need to deliver sustainable long-term value to our esteemed shareholders. Distinguished shareholders, it was with mixed feeling that I recently notified the board of my intention not to seek re-election as director at this annual general meeting after over 9 years as a director, out of which I have been chairman for the last 7 years. Thank you. Thank you. As I bow out of this organization, I would like to use this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to you, distinguished shareholders, for your support throughout my tenure as chairman. It has been an honor of a lifetime serving this organization. I'm confident that you extend the same level of support to my successor when a formal announcement is made following the receipt of all required regulatory approvals. Distinguished shareholders, I would like now to formally introduce members of the board, either present or joining the meeting virtually. My name is Basil Omi, CON. I would like to introduce Dr. Demola Shogunle, Chief Executive. Mr. Adekunle Adedeji, Executive Director and the Group's Chief Finance and Value Management Officer. Mrs. Ifeoma Esiri, a Non-Executive Director, joining virtually. Professor Fabian Ajoku, SAN, OFRO, Non-Executive Director. Mrs. Ukedelim Waje Bego, a Non-Executive Director. Mrs. Shola David Bora, Non-Executive Director. Mr. Balama Manu MFRO, Non-Executive Director. Dr. Salamatu Suleiman, an Independent Non-Executive Director. Dr. Babs Omotawa, an Independent Non-Executive Director. And Mrs. Ndidi Nwaneli, MFRO, an Independent Non-Executive Director. I would also like to introduce our Company Secretary, Mr. Chidi Okezie. I would also like to introduce Messrs. PricewaterhouseCoopers, our auditors for the financial year ended 2023. Our registrar, First Registrars and Investor Services Limited, and Messrs. Ernst & Young, who carried out the board evaluation for the year ended 31st December 2023. I would also like to introduce our members of the Audit Committee, Mr. Samuel Ayinuola, Mr. Ibade George, Mr. Olatuji Bamidele, who are the shareholders elected representative on the Audit Committee, and they were elected at the AGM of May 2023. I would also like to recognize the representative of the following regulatory authorities: Central Bank of Nigeria, the Security and Exchange Commission, Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, and the Nigerian Exchange Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now request that we proceed to the main business of the meeting, which is the consideration of the ordinary and special business stated in the notice of meeting dated 24th April 2024. I therefore call on the company secretary to read the notice of meeting. Should I want to? I know what it's going to say. It's going to say.
Chairman, with due respect, I know that the issue of introduction of directors can also come in question and answer time. But since you've raised it now, I think it's proper that we take it. I'm not sure if Babs did have an apology, because I know he was only appointed in 2022. The second one is I also hope that the ladies are not on strike, because you're also about to leave the board, because you've called all of them. I can only see two of them here. So I don't know what will have happened, but I'm sure you'll be in a better position to tell the story.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Babs Omotawa did send apologies, so it's Johnny online. Most of the ladies are very much online and joining, and they are not on strike. And they are very much present, and we value them very much.
So I will read the notice of meeting, which is on page 6 and 7 of the annual report. Notice is hereby given that the 12th annual general meeting of Stanbic IBTC Holdings PLC will be held in the Grand Ballroom, Eco Hotel and Suites, plot 1415, Adetukumba Demola Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, on Thursday, 16 May 2024 at 10 a.m. to transact the following business. Ordinary business. 1, to receive and consider the reports of the directors and the financial statements for the year ended 31 December 2023 and the auditor's report thereon. 2, to declare a dividend. 3, to re-elect retiring directors. 4, to disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company. 5, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of auditors for the ensuing year. And 6, to elect members of the audit committee. Special business. 7, to consider and if thought fit pass the following as an ordinary resolution. That the directors' annual fees for the year ending 31 December 2024 be and is hereby fixed at 653 million. 8, to consider and if thought fit pass the following subjoined resolutions as a special resolution. A, that subject to receipt of any required regulatory approvals and pursuant to Article 1 of the company's Articles of Association, the directors be and are hereby authorized to establish a debt issuance program, the program in an amount of up to 400 billion naira or such foreign currency equivalent thereof as the directors may consider appropriate for the purpose of issuing debt securities to include senior unsecured or secured subordinated convertible preferred equity linked or such other forms of debt obligations by way of public offering, private placement, additional Tier 1 or Tier 2 capital raising, investments, book building process, or any other method in tranches or such amounts and at such dates, coupon or interest rates, and upon such terms and conditions as may be determined by the directors, subject to the grant of all required approvals from the relevant regulatory authorities. B, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into and execute all such agreements, deeds, notices, documents as may be necessary for or incidental to the company's 400 billion naira program, and the directors be and are also authorized to appoint all such professional parties necessary for or incidental to the actualization of the program, including without limitation to complying with the directives of any regulatory authority. 9, to consider and if thought fit pass the following subjoined resolutions as an ordinary resolution. 9.1, the subject to receipt of any required regulatory approvals and pursuant to clause 7 of the company's memorandum of association, the directors be and are hereby authorized to raise additional equity capital of up to 150 billion by way of rights issue or offer for subscription on such terms, tranches, conditions, and dates as may be determined by directors. In the event of an undersubscription to any rights issue or offer for subscription, the directors are authorized to offer such unsubscribed shares first to interested existing shareholders, and where following such offer any portion of the shares remain unsubscribed, then directors are hereby authorized to offer such unsubscribed shares that may be outstanding to interested investors on similar terms to the rights issue or offers for subscription. 9.2, that in accordance with Article 6 of the company's Articles of Association, the Board of Directors be and are hereby unconditionally authorized to exercise the power conferred on them by Article 6 of the company's Articles of Association as may from time to time be varied, so that to the extent and in the manner determined by directors, the holders of ordinary shares in the company may be permitted to elect to receive new ordinary shares in the company credited as fully paid instead of whole or any part of any cash dividends, including interim dividends, paid by directors or declared by the company in general meeting as the case may be, from the date this resolution is passed until the earlier of 5 years from the date of the passing of this resolution and the date on which the annual general meeting of the company to be held in 2029 occurs. 9.3. Directors be and are hereby authorized to issue such new ordinary shares or make such allotments of shares or approve any allotment proposals as may be deemed necessary and expedient to give effect to the above resolution, subject to obtaining the approval of the relevant regulatory authorities. 9.4. The directors be authorized to enter into any agreement and or execute any document necessary to give effect to the above resolutions. And 9.5. That directors be and are hereby authorized to appoint such professional parties and advisors and to perform all such acts and do all such other things as may be necessary to give effect to the above resolutions, including, without limitation, complying with the directives of any regulatory authority. 10, to consider and if thought fit, pass the following subjoined resolutions as an ordinary resolution. That following the completion of the additional equity capital raise, as contemplated in clause 9 above, the issued and paid up share capital of the company be increased from 6,478,498,581.50 divided into 12,956,997,163 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each to a maximum of up to 8,250,000,000 naira by the creation in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited.